Hi people, I'm Peepo. New setup for recording as well. Woohoo! Along with my streaming on Twitch. Woohoo! All right, so this is going to be a bit of an interesting video. I wanted to do a guide for Dandy's World because I realized that I haven't exactly done that. I've only done like a gameplay video of sorts, but it's about dang time I do a guide for the game. So that is my goal. Fortunately for you, I'm a very seasoned Dandy's World player. The only time I made a video, I started a new account, but this is where we'll be from now on after this part. I am currently on the game. I have 0 trinkets equipped. However, I have every trinket in the game. Um, you can pause to see which ones you think looks coolest, but if you ask me, I know what's best, and I'll probably tell you later. I have all the research completed at 100%. If you have every trinket, you have this because every twisted comes with their unique trinket of some sort. I have every playable tune in the game currently unlocked. There are 2 that aren't playable currently, Dandy and Dial. Very unfortunate. And then there's some that you can't currently unlock at the moment. However, if you did get them before, you can play them. So that's really neat. So yeah, I have chosen one of the starters. This is Boxton. He's one of the 2 starters you can choose from when you start the game up for the first time ever. He will allow you to get 6% more extraction speed per alive tune in the round. So for every alive character, my bad, you will get a 6% extraction speed bonus, which is doing machines. This maxes at 48%. Um, and then with Poppy, whenever you get smacked in the face, you get a 3-second 50% speed boost. This passive literally does nothing. However, she is technically better for survivability because at least she has an ability that gives her survivability. So if you ask me, if you want to survive, you might as well get Poppy. But if you want to continue the game faster, you should choose Boxton. And I feel like most people want to do that. So I'm not going to lie, I feel like most people would choose Boxton. So I'm going to explain how to play the game and all that. There is a little in-game tutorial. It's kind of hidden here in this corner, so it's really hard to see that. So we'll be going through it, and I am going to kind of guide you through it myself. I'll add anything that the game doesn't explain. I'll throw in what I want to throw in. We're going to talk about every twisted as well, which is a little more in depth. And but for now, I'm only going to focus on important characters that are you see them frequently. So this is a information guide for now. I will also show a little gameplay of a solo queue, so I'll be matchmaking as Boxton with no trinkets, something that you might be doing. So hopefully you can get a grasp at how this game works and you're not seeing any trinkets that are helping me play the game, right? So that's the hope here. All right, let's start with the gameplay. It's a mascot horror survival game. It, it's a party game where you will descend floors, complete machines, and avoid twisteds. You gotta complete machines to progress while avoiding twisteds. Each floor is randomly generated, different layouts, items, twisteds, and maps. It doesn't say maps for some reason. You can team up with a total of 8 players um, as a group into an elevator, or you can matchmake, which is a new feature and why it doesn't mention that. And to play a match, you just hop into one of the elevators in the lobby. I'll show you those real quick. And be sure to join other players or play with friends for a better experience. So usually it is best to play with others. These are the elevators people are talking about. Don't worry about all these people, but this is the elevator that they are talking about. As you can see, it just closed. This person immediately did matchmaking, so woohoo for them. That puppy just did matchmaking. These guys are all doing matchmaking. I'm not joining them. I'll back up. I'll back up. And this Scraps right here is doing a solo run, so she is going in alone. Solo queue over there, solo run over there. Pretty neat. And that flight over there is doing a solo queue. So there we go. First, you'll need currency. This is the little currency. There is some event currencies during events. So if there's a like an item above this with another number, that's just a new type of currency that you can only unlock during the event. Congratulations, um, for making it to the event. I mean, as you play Dandy's World, you can complete machines, use abilities, complete floors, all of this of which will reward you with Iker. Iker, which I have 127k of, that is a very large number. Be afraid. You won't be seeing that for a long time. Um, you can use this Iker to purchase tunes and trinkets. You can purchase skins as well. But we're not going to focus on the Dial shop. We'll focus on the Dandy shop because it's more important, where you purchase all the tunes and all the trinkets. You're going to be frequently visiting this shop while you first play the game, hopefully, if you're trying to do your best. And eventually you can start purchasing stickers. These are really helpful, like ways to call out to people, such as like I want to ask if I can extract. I'll ask if I can extract, right? That's what stickers are, pretty much. Now you do happen to start with a variety. Um, like your abilities on cooldown. Be careful. Can I extract? You do start with that one. This is asking for a specific sort of team. This is telling people to get to the elevator. At the end of the floors, you'll do that. I'll explain that later. Blah, blah, blah. You can see the rest of these. You could read them. Yes, no, simple concepts. All right, let's move on. You can also purchase Iker with Robux. Please don't do that. This is an easy game to grind, and if you have the time to grind, you have the time to play. If you don't have the time to grind, just don't play this game. I'm sorry to tell you that, but that's the truth. If you don't have the time to grind, just don't don't play. All right. Tunes. This is something I kind of went into. You can see Boxen on this side, Poppy on this side. These are old animations, so they might look a little funny from what they do look like now. Each tune has some sort of requirements to unlock them. Mostly it's Iker. Every tune costs Iker. It is a different amount, but they will cost an amount at the end of the day. So, um, some of the requirements, the etc. requirements will include encountering twisteds, which means getting research on them usually. There's only one twisted you'll ever need to just encounter to my knowledge. Um, if I'm wrong about that, you can correct me in the comment section. Performing in-game tasks such as completing X amount of machines or encountering this many blackouts. We'll get on all that later, or surviving a certain number of floors. That's only for one tune. Getting mastery on certain tunes is one that you will constantly see show up as well. I'm gonna throw that one in there. Some tunes work well with other tunes, so be sure to experiment and have fun with finding the best strategy with friends. Um, Honestly, or if you're like me, you're mostly gonna play solo queue. I try to play with friends a lot, but at the end of the day, solo queue is still my go-to. Okay, I did unmute. All right. Twisteds, these are again old animations. He's doing this got hit face. I don't know why. Twisteds are corrupted and dangerous tunes that will lurk in the floors below garden view. Basically, these twisted will smack you in the face and you're gonna get hitted and you'll lose a heart. And if you lose hearts too many times, as in you have 3 hearts for majority of your characters, if you lose those 3 hearts, you die. There are certain tunes that have less. A certain group of tunes have less, and then there's Sylvester. He's special. I'll show you him now, just because Sylvester is a Halloween tune, so you really don't need to worry about him. But he has 4 hit points. And then the certain group is mains. These characters have 2 abilities, but they also have 1 extra stat and only 2 hearts. All these tunes have 2 hearts, so these are all like main tunes. Okay. The further you progress, it takes a while to worry about there being multiple twisteds. So please don't worry about this. But once you hit like floor, some number of floor, you will start encountering multiple twisteds. So yeah. And I guess there's going to be a better in-depth guide in the future. This shows 4 health, as if you're Sylvester. Health determines how many hits you can take before dying. It's self-explanatory. There are certain healing items or certain tunes that have abilities that can heal you, or a certain tune that can heal themselves with their ability. Skill check will determine how large the skill check is. Skill checks are some weird like pop-ups on machines. I can show you them later. Um, and it will determine how big that skill check is, as well as how much completion you get upon hitting a successful great skill check. Good skill check if you're running a certain trinket um, that it will give you on a machine. Um, and it will go in depth further on skill checks, I guess. Yeah, so that's what a skill check looks like. You do a machine and you get this certain pop-up. Extraction speed, we're going to move on to this one because that's also something to do with extraction. Should be the only other one, I think. Extraction speed determines how fast your tune can complete machines. Just know that if you're playing as Poppy, it'll take 45 seconds. Boxton will take just a little less. Not a super, super big deal. Stealth will determine how far a Twisted can see you. It will also determine what targets a Twisted will prioritize. So, first of all, if you have equal stealth to someone, like let's say you're playing as Boxton and you have a Poppy, um, then whoever's closer will be chased because you both have a 3-star stealth, right? However, let's say you're playing as Boxton and a teammate near you who's playing as Louis is distracting the Twisteds, like they're keeping hold of them 24/7. They have a 2-star stealth, so you can walk right into those Twisted safely. Now, that doesn't mean everyone's that way, right? Because now let's say you're playing as Boxton, again, whoa, Lagaspa, I'm using the same character. And you are seeing somebody get chased and they're playing as Astro. He has a 5-star stealth, so if you decide to go up to them, you're the one who's going to get chased. It is now you who gets chased, not them. Whereas with Louis, it will be them who gets chased. Additionally, if the twist has line of sight, stealth doesn't matter if they lose line of sight on the other person. So that's something to watch out for, kind of in the future of your starting up. But I'm sure that was also common sense. Let's move on. Stamina will determine how much stamina you have while sprinting. It will fill up slowly when you are walking rather than sprinting. So I'll tell you all about that later. Movement speed will determine your movement speed. Let's move on. Oh wait, no, sorry. Next page. Machines. Every floor there will be some machines. Your first couple floors, you're probably going to see this number the most is 4. So you'll have 4 machines at first, and it might start gradually going up as you continue playing the game. Woohoo! You begin extracting by pressing a button. It should show you the button. It's the interact button. So if you're playing on PC, that is E. Okay? You press E. You just tap the circle around the thing if you're playing on mobile. Those are the 2 most common devices. I don't think I need to say Xbox or PlayStation. But I don't know PlayStation, to be fair. All right. To begin extracting a machine's Iker, you press the button. You press it again to get off of it, but there's also a little pop-up in the bottom that says you press that to get off of it. And then tunes with higher extraction speed or trinkets that increase it. There are certain trinkets in the game that will increase your extraction speed, such as blue bandana or machine manual. I tried using early game examples. Please don't run either of those. If I'm being honest, they both suck. And completing a machine will reward you with Iker based on how much you contributed to filling it. This is very weird. Sometimes it just doesn't give you like any, and sometimes it gives you like 3 when you did less than half. It's really weird. You get up to 5, by the way. All right, skill checks. There will be skill checks, quick time events, but they're not really quick. If you ask me, they're timed events. They're really easy, I promise you. Um, and a little window there. If you hit that white spot there, you will hit a good. If you hit that orange spot there, you hit a great. If you hit a great, you get extra stuff. The golden part in the center, you'll get extra Iker into the machine. Easily fixable. All right, trinkets. I guess they have edited the guide to include trinkets in them. Woohoo. You can click on this. Okay. Trinkets are special items that you can equip to change or boost your stats. Like blue bandana decreases your skill check chance, but it will increase your extraction speed. You want skill checks. Honestly, skill checks are so helpful. There's just no point in running this trinket usually. Sorry, wrong button. You can equip up to 2. As you can see, there's like 2 empty circles here. These are trinkets, so if I were to equip that said blue bandana, this would fill up here. All right. You can only have 1 of each trinket, so as you can see, I can't just equip it again. It only allows me to unequip it. Trinkets can be purchased from Dandy's store in the shop. All those trinkets honestly kind of suck. But yeah, as you can see, if you go to his shop, you can purchase some trinkets. So that is nice, right? That's something really nice. It's nice like early game trinkets. These trinkets usually are pretty niche. I'm gonna go into this room. Trinkets are usually pretty niche, and you don't got from Dandy Shop. I mean, they're pretty niche. You don't gotta worry about them. There's some from like certain tunes that you might want to worry about. This is my favorite example, Pink Bow. This one, it doesn't sound strong, but trust me, this is one of the best trinkets in the game that you could ever ask for. So to get that one though, you need a twisted research. You need to get this lady. This lady to 100% research, and when you do, you get that's super nice and easy. Every twisted to get their trinket is 100%, by the way, and to get info on them is 50. So this info right here, you don't see that until you get 50, and you don't even see who the twisted is until you get at least 1%. So yeah, there you go. You can only have 1 of each trinket. You can equip 2. Dandies or researching twisteds. A future slide will cover twisted research. Will it? Yes, it will. All right. Tapes are the in-round currency that are earned and used only in that same round. Tapes are earned by doing basically everything. Getting spotted, using your active ability if you have one. Passives don't count. Surviving floors, doing machines. I mean, seriously. They are everywhere. You do they're even on the floor to pick up, my guy. You can find these tapes everywhere. Um if the floor number is becoming even, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, no, if the floor number is becoming even as you enter the elevator, the number at the top will change. If that number that just changed is even, there will be a dandy shop that you can spend your tapes on. The only other way to spend tapes is by using certain tune abilities that cost tapes. Those are very rare. All right, voting. So these little card votes. This is the shop, by the way. After complete the floor you are on, if the new floor number is even, Dandy will appear and sell some items. Those items in his shop are actually good items, but if you ask me, most of the time he's selling jack squat, and you don't have to worry about his shop. However, if you don't buy from him, like 3 times in a row, which means 6 floors. If you don't buy from him, he'll kind of tweak out by the 6th floor. And if you still didn't buy from him by the time he is tweaking, there's a chance that he, as a twisted, will spawn. And as you can see from my list here, he is a lethal. He's very complicated. So make sure to try to purchase from him every now and again, and organize a dandy run if you want to get twisted dandy. Card voting. After completing a floor you were on, if the new number is odd, you will instead be shown 3 random cards. You and your team can vote. I'll show you that later, but pretty much the effects of the cards will be kind of on that card, and then the name of the card, so you can start memorizing that for future purposes. It's also there. Um, There's also a little head that pops up above the card. So if you voted that, everybody will know that you voted that. Be respectful. Or don't. I don't care. Some cards will kind of give you small bonuses to your stats, such as like there's one called Well Paced, where it will increase your stamina by 10. Um, that's something nice. Some cards will upgrade certain aspects of the round. What it doesn't mention is there's this special card. It's called Time's Up. It's rainbowy. You can only get it by floor 9 and above. Um, if you do get that card, please avoid it. That is how you meet Twisted Dial. So that's if you want his research. His trinket's actually helpful, so maybe do get this one. But Twisted Dial has the chance to appear. Well, it has a 100% chance to appear if you vote that card. And more importantly, he's got all this stuff to him. You can probably find a Dial video out there somewhere. He's unique. But most importantly, he insta kills you. Well, so does Dandy. Dandy also insta kills you. But more importantly, if you do complete that floor, you'll get 50 stamina. That'll throw you into a very difficult floor where there's 25 machines that you have to complete, and it's like kind of a large map. And he's there along with 4 commons. So 4 common twisteds, which means that most of them don't have abilities, and if they do, it's something small. Sorry, wrong button. We'll get into that more here in a bit. All right, research and mastery. Mastery is something you might have to do to get certain tunes. The best example, you might have to complete Poppy's mastery to get Louis. You don't complete Box's mastery to get anyone. You only complete Poppy's to get Louis. That's a little fun thing. Additionally, each main requires you to get mastery on someone except for event mains. So someone like Gordy or Bassie or Babette, these 3 do not require you to get someone's mastery 100% complete. However, Sprout requires you to get mastery on Cosmo. V requires you to get mastery on Brightney. This is the most painful one. Pebble requires you to get mastery on Toodles. Perhaps the easiest. You get the point. So mastery is a bit important, but for the most part, let's say you're playing as Razzle and Dazzle, right? Or no, hell, Boxton. Well, let's say you're playing as Boxton. His mastery doesn't help you unlock anyone, which means all it does is gives you a cool little skin. So yeah, that's nice. That's all you get though from completing mastery. As you can see, ooh, they edited that menu. I'm sorry. I'm getting sidetracked. Additionally, that's the same skin for completing everyone else's mastery, right? Same type of skin for completing everyone's mastery. But additionally, masteries have 6 quests that you need to complete. 6 unique quests. Usually they're pretty simple, but sometimes like survival on floors with 7 other players around might be a bit difficult. It's pretty hard to find people that will actually survive beyond floor 1. Having a full team survive beyond floor 1 sounds easy on paper. It isn't. Trust me, it's really annoying. Probably if we go into our run, you're going to see some people either just straight up leave as we're loading into the round, or they will die on floor 1. And if we get somebody to survive the first floor, if we get all 7 other people to survive this first floor, give me a round of applause. Did they remove the how to lose twisteds? They did not. If you get spotted by a twisted, to lose them, you break line of sight. However, the line of sight's very loosey-goosey. It's pretty much any solid object counts as a line of sight blocker. That is really nice. If you have to remain out of it for long enough, you don't just straight up lose line of sight and instantly lose them. You can pick up research capsules found on the floor to collect research about them. However, you can also, getting spotted by them will also give you that said research. And that's what research does, right? It tells you what that twisted does and gives you a trinket for it. So research is very helpful to collect. There is a singular tune. His name is Roger. You can unlock him with Iker and getting a certain amount of research. I think you have to get 50% on at least one Twisted, I think. And he will give you double the research for playing the game. So, for instance, you get 5% research for being spotted by the Twisted, and then there is 2 capsules on the floor, each of which will give you 1% research. So you can get up to 7% research. If you play as Roger, you can get up to 14% research because that's double that number. These trinkets are generally more powerful than the ones found in Dandy's shop. That is truth. Most come with their own aspects, make them unique additions to your loadout. Like, let me bring up this. Where is it? Memory Locket. This one will highlight healing items to you while you're hurt. So if there's any healing items that you find on the floor, you might be able to see it. Items spawn randomly, so there's also a chance that there isn't one. But yeah, that's the point, right? For trinkets. Most come with their own aspects, making unique additions to your lab, blah, blah, blah. I already told you about mastery. That's literally everything there is to it. So, next up on our beautiful little list of things to talk about. Twisteds. We're gonna look at Twisted Boxton because he's the one of the most simplest, right? He doesn't have any special abilities. Same with Twisted Cosmo, Twisted Poppy, Twisted Tisha. Wait, no, she does. She has a special. It's just Cosmo Boxton and Cosmo Boxton Poppy. I feel like there should be another one, right? No, everyone else is special, so we're not going to talk about those three because they're just the generic everyone else. All right, we're going to start with uh, we're going to start with the rest of the comments, and we'll go up as we continue. We're going to avoid talking about the two lethals. They insta-kill you and have their own unique things that should be having their own videos. We're also going to avoid talking about event twisteds because you're not going to see these guys unless you're an event. And I'm sure if you're in an event, you can figure it out yourself just like everyone else did. It's usually pretty simple to figure them out. The commons, the ones that you're going to find the most from events, are they have nothing unique going for them. Except for this one, he glows red, but that's it. He's actually just revealing himself. Unironically, he is a net negative for a normal twisted. All right, let's start with other comments, starting with Brusha. Brusha has a tremendously longer range of spotting you. This is not a big deal in the slightest. You can easily lose her if you know where she's coming from. Lose her in like 2 seconds, man. It's super simple. More importantly, though, she's just really annoying. She'll constantly get you off of your machine if there's no distractor. Um, Next up on the commons list is Louis. He's the other. Never mind. He chases for longer. He chases for slightly longer. It's almost unnoticeable. He basically has no special ability. Speaking of chasing longer, let's move on to Shrimpo. He chases for a while longer, but he's pretty slow. Not for super, super long, like one of the event twisteds. Um, but he will chase you for a bit longer than everyone else, and he is however slower. This is because in game, he is a slower tune, as you can see with his stats. He's a meme character. Please don't get him, even though he is only 100 Iker. It seems worth it, right? He's super cheap. Don't just don't. All right, let's move on to other comments. Tisha idles for a bit longer. That's it. So she's like camping your machine. It's a bit scary. She's going to stay there for a very long time. Yada is a bit faster than others. That's it. She is a bit faster. However, the game doesn't explain that she has a hitbox the size of a mini truck, and she will hit you from 10 miles away. Please be aware of this and avoid being slightly close to her at all. It's not actually supersized, but I'm over exaggerating. She does, however, have a bigger hitbox than others because her attack leans forward. Even though, Boxton's attack also leans forward, he just doesn't, you know, have a super long range. I don't know. This is complicated as shit, man. Is there any other commons I'm missing? Don't worry, I remember all of them by heart. I know what I'm talking about. No, okay, let's start from the top and talk about uncommons. Starting with Twisted Brightney. She is basically just a normal Twisted with a slightly longer attention span, so she'll know where you are for a little bit longer. But more importantly, she rerolls the chance of a blackout occurring. A blackout is a floor event that will cause the lights in the map to turn off, and you will only have a small flashlight on you. And you are the small flashlight, by the way. Um, they're really annoying to deal with. It's pretty hard to see certain Twisteds, like Brusha coming up from afar, even though she is like pure white, and so it gets pretty easy as she nears you, but not super near. Um, but there's certain Twisteds, we're gonna move on to one here in a bit, who are really hard to see during blackouts, and it's really annoying. Brightney, thankfully, is actually really easy to see during blackouts because she glows. She has a red light around her, similar to that one comment I talked about. She glows and is really easy to see coming from a mile away. Next up on the uncommons list is Connie. You can walk inside this Twisted and she won't do jack squat. However, if you know she's on this floor, you better watch the machine you extract, because if it looks complete but it has a red light, chances are it's actually complete. She invades a machine, and it doesn't have to be complete, it just has to be any machine. And if it is complete, it will look like it is incomplete with a red light. However, the Iker will be still all the way filled up. She is harmless while roaming, but if you disturb her while she is possessing a machine, she will smack you in the face. And she can't possess a machine forever. She won't instantly, but after a couple seconds, she will leave that machine. Hi, Poppy, and she will attack you, or not attack you, but she will roam again. She'll just continue roaming. She's peaceful for the most part. You really don't have to worry about her almost at all, ever. Twisted Finn, he is really annoying. First of all, he's really hard to see during blackouts. So thank you, Brightney. Uh, by the way, Brightney isn't the only way to get these blackouts. They are a just rolled chance, right? So she's not the only method. Finn, after you complete a machine, he'll slow you down, but he himself is extremely slow. He is the slowest Twisted in the game, aside from a certain Twisted. Um, who is an event, so we're not going to talk about her. But he is the slowest Twisted in the game as far as non-events are concerned. So he doesn't even have a longer attention span or anything. He just has an ability that is really annoying to deal with. Once you complete a machine, you will be massively slowed down. It's really annoying. All right. Next up on our uncommons list is Razzle and Dazzle. My favorite tune in the game. If you ever hear me say my child, I'm talking about them. This Twisted will wake up and attack tunes inside its little radius. It has a little like radius of red vines around it. And if you go in there, it will attack you, assuming you are sprinting. If you are just walking, you can even go inside him and he won't attack you. The point is only if you sprint. He does eventually go back to sleep if you wake him up, so he's not impossible to deal with if one person wakes him up. There can be machines and items inside him, but again, or inside his circle, but again, he eventually goes to sleep. You just gotta walk. Don't sprint for the life of you. Next up is Roger. He's an uncommon. He will hide in a research capsule. Um, so he will he'll disguise himself as this sort of normal looking research capsule. Um, but you can see it in his hand, that research capsule he hides in. So if you know that there's a Roger on this floor, or hell, even if you don't know there's a Roger on this floor, be sure to check that capsule before picking it up. If there's little white lines in the middle there, right, that's a normal one. If it doesn't have those white lines, similar to what he's holding right now, then he is unsafe. And that means that Roger is in that capsule. Don't pick it up unless you want the 5% research. but then you might want to look at the nearest wall and sprint to it as soon as you press that capsule, because he will burst out of it and then he can start doing a low ranged attack. So you gotta get to that wall. He does eventually go back inside his capsule, so nothing to worry about. Um, Finally, we have Toodles as our last uncommon twisted. She has a super low attention span. However, she is super fast. She's also really hard to see on blackouts, so thank you, Brightney. Um, by the way, since we now know who Brightney is, Buxton's hard to see on blackouts. Thank you, Brightney. Cosmo's kind of hard to see on blackouts. Thank you, Brightney. Yeah, that's it. All right. Um, So Toodles is small, and she chases you super fast while army crawling towards you. It looks super funny, but yeah, she's dangerous. Oh, I forgot Tegan. My bad. Okay, Twisted Tegan. I hate this lady, blood and guts, and I'm not talking Twisted. I'm talking Tegan. I hate this lady. Her Twisted is just as annoying, in my opinion. Um, this uncommon Twisted will steal your tapes if you get smacked by her. She also has a longer attention span, and she is ever so slightly faster. Um, she takes 30 tapes when hitting you. She's really not special. Her whole thing is smacking you already, but since she's like a basic toon, you just don't gotta worry about her. She isn't a big deal unless you're bad at the game. Then she might be a bit of a big deal, but in no time you won't be bad at the game. At least you'll be better than 90% of the community, because the people in this game suck. You'll be good pretty fast. Let's move on. Rares. These Twisteds, they have a special thing that they do, pretty unique to them, and it's super annoying to deal with usually. First is Blot. He himself won't harm you. He just kind of sits in the floor and plays in his little Iker pool. More importantly, though, there's little hands that will spawn around the map. That will tell you that he's there. And let's say that this is the hand. Got ya? Okay. Let's say this is the hand. All right. If you decide to go, let's say this is you. You decide to go near that hand, bam! Okay? Do you get it? All right. You can usually dodge like the hand's attack, like if you are walking near it, right, and it swings, you can go past it even while it's up and recovering. As long as it's still in its recovery, you can use that to go through him. However, if he's on a machine, please don't try extracting the machine. Wait, because eventually the hands will disappear and they'll eventually spawn completely elsewhere. So, there you go. That's how Blot works. There's multiple hands per floor, by the way. It's not just one. Just to clarify that. All right. Next up on our rares list is Flutter. This is perhaps the most annoying lady. Most Twisteds will stop for a second to not move around for a second. Flutter doesn't do that. And at that, she's also pretty freaking fast. So she is patrolling constantly. Without a distractor, she is going to be the Twisted who's going to interrupt you on your machine several times. Thankfully, she's only like a little bit faster than normals, so you don't have too much to worry about on her. She's just really annoying. Please quell. Fix her. Quell's a developer, by the way. All right, next up is Gigi. Gigi is a Twisted who yanks your items, and there's very little reaction time. Thankfully, she steals them in an order, so you can order your items a bit. Uh, as in, like the item in your first slot, the leftmost item. You have 3 item slots, by the way. The item in your leftmost slot is the first one she'll steal, then the middle one, and then the far right one. It literally goes in that order. So usually you want to order your items in such a way that your most important one is the last one you've picked up. The third one. The third item you picked up, because your items that you pick up start from the leftmost one, go to the rightmost. All right. Um, she steals them from you from a range, by the way, and her trinket's useless. So honestly, just getting her is a complete nuisance. Glisten. All right, this twisted, you have to go near him. If he is roaming the map while walking, he is safe, and you have to go near him to calm him down. If you let him get pissed off enough, or every machine has been completed, he will tweak out and he will start sprinting at very fast speeds. He will roam even faster than Flutter without stopping as well, similar to Flutter. Um, and he will start attacking you. Only if you let him tweak out or if you've completed every machine. Um, until then, he has a little bar above his head that determines whether he tweaks out or not. And if you go near him, and you have line of sight of him, then you will start calming him down. So that's how you prevent him from happening. And until then, he's basically a free twisted. So most people will say if you got like Glisten and let's say Razzle a Dazzle, if you got Glisten and Razzle a Dazzle, people will consider that a free floor. If you just got two commons, by the way, like Louie and Poppy, that's considered an easy floor. All right, let's move on to Goob, perhaps my least favorite of the rares. Um, this twisted will this is you. This is him. All right, hands mean twisted for some reason now, ever since blot, I guess. Um, let's say you're right here. He's just gonna like reach out, and you're gonna get hit. However, he gives you plenty of reaction time to go and find cover. If you don't know where he's coming from, though, that reaction time becomes pretty short. You have to get behind any sort of obstacle to prevent him from hugging you. Hug is his thing, by the way. Even a machine works. However, machines don't work to hide from twisteds. I'm just going to tell you that now. Machines don't work to hide from twisteds, but it works to prevent ranged attacks. There are only two tunes in this game that do ranged attacks. GG is not included, even though her stealing your items is ranged. Whatever. Um, next up is, oh, ironic, the other ranged twisted. So as this is Scraps, this is Goob's sister, by the way, older sister, canonically. It's very canon, I promise you. More importantly, it literally says similar to her brother Goob in terms of abilities. She has a little tail that can reach out and she won't grab you and smack you like Goob does. She stands there, you're wherever you are, you'll lose a heart. You can continue going after that. She immediately starts chasing you again. Goob has a second of standing still when he hits you with the ranged attack. But then again, he also pulls you into him and attacks you with a melee. Scraps attacks you with a ranged, so it doesn't count as a melee. She doesn't go on a cooldown. Um, both their ranged attacks do have a cooldown of themselves. They have a 13-second cooldown, if I'm not mistaken on what I was told. That I actually have not counted, so whatever. Get out of sight before she can smack you. You get the gist. It's very similar to Goob, except she doesn't pull you. Um, that's all of them. Now we get to move on to the fun part. The main tunes. These tunes have extremely special abilities and special stats. I'm not even going to try to go over the stats because these abilities get a little bit complicated. And starting off with Astro, everyone's favorite main because he's perhaps one of the least lethals. In my opinion, he is the second least lethal. Twisted Astro. If you fail a skill check while you're on a machine, and you decide to hide rather than get spotted by him and take the chase like a man, he will steal completion from that machine because he likes drinking Iker, the little weirdo. So make sure you don't fail skill checks. For some odd reason, this doesn't mention the other one, but if you do get spotted by him, he will put a status effect on you called Tired 3. Um, and um, if you have Tired 3, you will start to regain stamina significantly lower. So the speed of which you get stamina is reduced even further. The reason that this is ironically the way it is because Astro regains stamina 50% faster. I'll have a tune guide and a trinket guide, by the way, later. So hopefully soon. So I'm not gonna delve into them. Only Twisted's and normal gameplay guide, and then a match to prove my point. But that's it for him. He gives you tired 3, and he steals machine progress if you fail a skill check and don't get chased from him. Next up on our list, oh my god. Also, Lethals are getting their own video. They should already have their own video, so I shouldn't even need to cover them. Next up on our list is Shelly. This is my personal opinion, least lethal of the bunch because she is basically just Toodles with a longer attention span in terms of how she attacks you. Until then, she permanently gives you confused 1 throughout the floor unless you are playing a certain tune. I'm not delving into that. um while you have confused 1, you progress machines slightly slower. This barely does anything. People panic around her, but you don't have to. She is just Toodles with a longer attention span. And way taller at that, way easier to spot. So we don't have to say thank you, Brightney. All right. Twisted Sprout is next. This is my 3rd least lethal. And then we have the most lethal one after that. Did I miss one? I feel like I'm missing one. I am. He's the worst of the bunch, actually. All right, all right. This is second least lethal, and then we have Pebble. All right, we'll do V and then Pebble. So Sprout, V, Pebble. All right, Sprout. He if you get spotted by him, he moves slower. By the way, I guess that's something that the game mentioned, so I have to mention it. But if you get spotted by him, he will summon a tendril under your feet. You are to move away from that tendril as soon as possible. Thankfully, it doesn't slow you down or anything. However, if you are near it, it will start attacking you. This is him. This is you. He spots you. He moves his hands a little. Oh, sorry. If he spots you, he moves his hand a little. And now there is a little tentacle under you. You have to get away from that semi quickly. Don't worry, there's a pretty long time before it actually attacks you. And at that, if you start immediately sprinting away from Sprout or even into Sprout, though don't go all the way in because he will smack you in the face. But if that tendril has like a spawn time, you can back up and it won't attack you. It just sits there. However, if you just stand there like an idiot for some reason, or you decide to waddle back into that tendril while being chased from him, it will do a little like shank, 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 and it can start attacking you. It takes like 1 shank, shank, and you're hurt. But then you can get shanked a couple times and it won't hurt you more until a couple seconds pass, and then shank, and you got hurt. All right, so there you go. That's how he works. That is literally it to him. He also has a longer attention span because they didn't mention that, but he is slower. V, she has a normal movement speed, slightly longer attention span, whatever, blah, blah, blah. If you, first of all, actually, she will start spawning ads on your screen. Let's say that this is an ad that just popped up on my screen. These ads aren't real, so don't worry about that. But more importantly, let's say that she just puts up 3 little pop-ups on your screen. You just got to click an X on them. If you're playing on console, I have to mention this. If you are playing on console, you can press B, or I think it's square, the right button, the button on the right. Hi, Shrimpo. If you press that, you can delete the ad from your screen. So don't worry, you have an option to get rid of it too. Console players, it's not super, super complicated. Um, Additionally, she will she won't allow you to see your skill checks unless you're doing the circle machine. There's different types of machines. There's 3. There is normal machines, circle machines, and treadmill machines. Treadmill machines use movement speed. Circle and normals both only have different types of skill checks, so don't worry about them. Obviously, normal is the one that you saw in this guide when it talked about skill checks, right here. That's normal. That's normal skill checks. Circles are like little circles that pop up anywhere on your screen, and they start moving immediately, so they're just slightly more difficult skill checks, but until then, it's like the same thing. And then treadmills, they have a little treadmill here, like under her feet, and you have to spam the button in the middle, or A for console players, or I guess the bottom most button, in order to hit those skill checks. You press space to hit skill checks on PC, by the way, or you can, click that, but that's besides the point. So those circle machines, treadmill machines, easiest things ever. You don't have to worry about this. Let's move on to Twisteds again. V. All right. So if you get spotted by her, additionally with her placing ads and all that, additionally she will put an ad on your screen if you get spotted by her. Only one, but she also gives you slowness 2, which slows you down a bit. Who would have thought? Finn gives you slowness 3 when you complete a machine, just so you're aware of that. And there's this certain floor event called Icar Spills. It gives you slowness 1 and illness 3. Slowness 1's even worse version of slowness, so it doesn't slow you down as much, whatever. Slowness 3 slows you down even more than V's slowness 2. But illness 3 also reduces the size of your skill check tremendously. So I wouldn't say it's anything to worry about, right? Not a big. Sorry, my friend made my face their keyboard. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting sidetracked again. Okay. Yeah, but you get slowness 2, and you get pop up if she spots you, and that's about it. And she will redo that every now and again. Same with Astro, by the way. He redoes that every now and again. And he also something. Okay, let's move on. I'm sorry, V hurts my head. Pebble. He sees you from significantly further away, and he has a very high movement speed. Like, very high. He also has a pretty long attention span. So if you get spotted by him, you have to immediately hide. He's pretty difficult to avoid if you don't. If you got spotted right next to him, consider that 1 heart gone. He has a very fast recovery time. This is a very painful Twisted, right? He has every single stat of his is high as hell. So if you ask me, please uninstall the game if you get this Twisted. No, I'm joking, but this is a very difficult Twisted to kind of avoid. And that covers every Twisted in the game. If you don't remember all of that, that's fine. You will start to remember it when you see the faces of the Twisteds. So I'm going to do join matchmaking. We're going to hop into a round, and we're going to see how I do. Hi, welcome back. All right. And by welcome back, I mean I simply edited this part out, and it looks like a welcome back, but it actually took me a moment. So we can see all of our friendly faces up here. This Shelly here, Yada here, Cole here, that's an event tune, Pebble here, Roger here, Rebecca here. This is the one that can avoid getting confused. She avoids every status effect in the game. And Scraps here, who's a very niche tune. I'm not going to buy any of these because you shouldn't while you're a starter at the game. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to adjust my camera slightly so I can kind of lean in as I please. And we're going to start with my gamer posture. All right, watch me cook. I'm not a noob. I wish I could tell them that, but you can only chat with similar age groups, and majority of the people in this game are kids, and the game thought I was an adult. So I'll just say hi to everyone. You're probably not going to be able to do that. I don't think you'll have a sticker immediately for that. Every sticker you see will pop up here, as you can see. That's beautiful. We have a Twisted Toodles, so she moves slightly faster, if I can remind you. This bandage, this is a skill check handy. This item can heal you. I'm not going to pick that up because I am not a greedy little bastard. Since I am playing as Boxton, my extraction speed will be a bit higher. As you can see, you have plenty of time to hit a skill check. I'm just pressing space, but you can technically click this thing at the top here. I guess that person's sorry and Yada's telling them not to worry. That's fine. Who's the other Twisted? I'm curious. I guess we'll never find out, right? Because we just passed this floor. Yeah, okay. All right. Smiley face. All right. So while we're here, let's talk about everyone's trinkets. Let's see how smart they are, right? So this Roger, he is running magnifying glass and pink bow. Pink bow, as we talked about, increases your. Okay, maybe I'm gonna adjust my camera. Increases your run speed by a certain amount, very small amount, but it is significantly changing the game. This makes or breaks whether you can survive a pebble encounter, basically, as a 2-star movement speed. So his other one, magnifying glass, that decreases the skill check size. However, it gives you significantly more progression when completing a skill check, and it gives you any amount of progression if you hit a good skill check. I think you do maybe get some with a good skill check, but it's so slight that you don't notice it. But with Magni Glass, you do. Um, so those trinkets are dues. Always run pink bow if you're playing 2-star or lower. We're not gonna make it to that machine before Rebecca. We'll leave that alone. This, as you can see here, oh, there's a Finn. She just avoided because she doesn't have slowness. She can't get any status effects. But this is a circle machine, right? So these circle machines give you circle skill checks instead. I wish I could have shown you that, but Rebecca used her trinket called V's Remote, where she gets to instantly complete any sort of machine. We're gonna avoid that. Pebble has an equal stealth to us, so we need to play our distance. There we go. Cole also has equal stealth to us. However, somebody else get a spot. That's gonna be Yada. So that tune has a lower stealth than us, right? So we can now walk into this twisted, if you will allow me. There you go. See that? And we don't get spotted. Pebble's ability is on cooldown. He can bark to reduce his stealth even further, significantly further. Um, so that's nice. So yeah. Oh shoot. Okay. As you can see, there's like little like arrow pointing to where you need to go. You need to be inside the elevator. You can't be outside. You can't even be right here. You're technically outside of it if you're right here. So please stand inside when you're in that mode. Roger apparently needs help. I'm assuming that he is out of stamina and can't sprint anymore. I would be correct. Let's help Scraps get in. Okay. Scraps has an ability to grapple herself to people. Cole sprint. Please, Cole sprint. Cole sprint. Cole did not in fact sprint. So basically, we did actually have everyone survive on floor 1, so I would have completed that part of mastery. You can check your mastery in your stats, by the way. Here's your mastery. I would have completed this mastery because I've now survived a floor while everyone else survived. I guess players are getting better than I thought. All right. Additionally, you see other little quests. They seem very tedious, but I promise you they are pretty simple. Though, yes, they are tedious. I'm sorry, Rebecca. Fuck you. All right, let's do this machine. There you go. I hit it good, and you can see I got like there. I hit it good again. Got no progress from it, right? Or very little. It's so unnoticeable. These are normal capsules. This is not a Roger capsule. This is a normal capsule. As you can see, there's little white things in the middle there. If I pick that up, it just gives me research and some 2 Iker. 2 Iker for picking up those. Additionally, if I complete this machine, you'll notice I get 5 Iker. So there we go. You only have 2 pages of stickers. I spent money on this game, and that gave me an additional 2. So yay for that. These are the tapes that you can use to spend in Dandy Shop. If I pick it up, it gives me 5 extra tapes. Welcome. That's a normal capsule, so we're going to pick it up. We know we have a Twisted Louie. You can only get research on Twisteds in here. Oh, I'm going to... Jesus Christ. Okay, well, now we know the other one was Cosmo. He has no special ability, and Louis basically has no special abilities. This was an easy floor, is what we call it. Oh, gee, thank you for telling me. So glad to know that I have a friend now playing Roblox. I'm sharing my screen, by the way. Okay. This is Dandy's shop. He is selling very useless stuff. Gumballs do nothing. Stopwatch increases the size of your skill check. And again, gumballs do nothing. He can give you multiple items. However, if you purchase one of the items, right? You cannot purchase that same item again. You can purchase it if it's like over here, right? If you get something over here, if it's the gumballs, and then the other side's a gumballs like it was now. If I were to buy this gumballs, I could have got this gumballs still, but I couldn't get this gumballs a second time. is the point. This is an Iker spill. So first of all, it gives me slowness 1, illness 3, and kind of covers my screen a bit. Slowness 1 obviously is slightly slowing me down, not a super big deal. That eventually goes away. And illness 3 significantly reduces my skill check size. If I could get a skill check, that would be lovely. There we go. See, look at that. Way smaller. Not too hard to hit though, because skill checks in this game are super easy, I swear. There might be a small delay on console. That might cause some issues. Okay, so Shelly just are active on me. As you can see, I'm now glowing purple. This has increased my extraction speed. I'm gonna say thank you to her. But we are now on last. On last does not mean they're on 1 heart. That means they are doing final machine. So we need to get to elevator. Also, I'm sure you noticed that somebody was being chased, right, the whole time. They have people who get chased usually have 4-star or higher movement speed, 4 or 5, right? It's either like a Pebble or someone. The only exception to that is Louis. Louis is a toon who increases his movement speed as he loses hearts. He also has 3 hearts like the rest of us. Shelly, by the way, is the main, so she only has 2 hearts. So you know, that little covered heart, that means like she doesn't have that heart. She doesn't get that. If she uses a med kit, she doesn't heal it. She uses a bandage, she doesn't heal it. No, she only has these 2 hearts. That's just to look cool. I don't freaking know. Oh right, I should mention main twisteds also have like unique sounds. Not that they're on that topic anymore. We're gonna agree with Pebble. I think suppression's equally nice. Might be especially helpful for him since he's distracting. But yeah, you'll know if there's a main twisted on the floor because they'll make special sounds. There was a video I think that contained all of them, but I'm not the master of delving into that kind of stuff, so we'll just move on. That Rebecca uses her Vimo every floor. Oh, see this is a special capsule, right? Okay. So, yeah, this is a special capsule. So, if we pick this up, this is Roger. I'm gonna golden brick to let everyone know that is Roger. That's not exactly what golden brick means. Golden brick is just the worldwide. So there's Twisted Roger. There you go. As you can see, he attacks people if they pick up his capsule. However, if you go near him after he does that, you get your research, right? So that's really nice to know. Make sure you know that people sometimes like to tease him a little bit. They're edging him. That's exactly what the Roger over there is doing right now. And Shelly's telling him to stop, so he'll eventually go away. If you keep picking him up, he will start getting he'll if you pick him up and then you leave him alone and you hide from him, he will eventually start going away. So I think the last 2 machines are back here. I'm not gonna lie. I have a feeling they're also being done, but oh, here we go, circle machine. Okay, perfect. So these machines have little special little skill checks, right? That pop up on your screen. And yeah, they're very similar to normal machines. They just have now circles in random places. Pretty simple still, but they start immediately moving forward, so they are slightly more difficult than a normal machine. That's it. I said that very late because I didn't know they were doing last, but wow, really, Shelly? Really? I want that capsule. Not that I need it. I have research on everyone and all the Iker in the game that I need, but you know, whatever. All right. So you can see everyone's in here. Ooh, Roger's on 1 heart, so he's gonna need a med kit. We do not have any tunes that can heal him. Okay, so it hit floor 6. You can hear that the music's a little different. He was about to tweak out. However, somebody just bought from him. They bought that valve, I'm assuming. I'll buy the skill check candy because why not? As you can see, I just lost my tapes and I got the item. Common sense from what we read earlier, right? um, so that's super nice. You can get items from him. He spawns with random items, some more expensive than others, depending on how helpful or rare it is. That's pretty much it. I'll maybe try making a video about items for myself for the record because I need to learn more about them. I'm using skill check candy. It increases the chances of skill checks. As you see, I'm now like glowing orange. I have a higher chance for skill check. I'm gonna let them know I don't need help on this machine. I've got it. Get to elevator. I have to wait. There's a cooldown for stickers. Here we go. If you use your GTE sticker, it means the same thing. I got boosted by Shelly, but I was already audibly done, so whatever. I'm not gonna have to pick up that capsule. I would have if I were you. We saw a ghost. We saw a ghost. So that little flying like aura thing, that's Connie. She can't hurt you, but she can go inside a machine and haunt it. If she does that, like the light will turn red and you can get smacked in the face if you decide to try touching that machine. Somebody just died. I think it was Rebecca. More importantly, though, I guess everyone else is about to die, except for this lady. I'm gonna give her a high. She gave me the hello backwards. So Blot, by the way, speaks backwards. So everything he says is backwards. It's just a fun little fact. You don't need to know that. What tunes say is not important at all. All right, let's carry on with the floors. If I can find a treadmill, that'd be lovely. Can I find a treadmill? Also, because everyone's dead, we now have lost boosts from our ability. Only me and Shelly remain, so I only get 6%, which means I only get 12% bonus. However, Shelly just boosted me, and that gives me 75. So yeah, she is significantly increasing my extraction speed here, but it's not gonna matter because I'm gonna just complete this machine in seconds. We're gonna not get smacked in the face. And here, by the way, since I'm now spotted, this is line of sight blocking. I'm not joking. This thing right here, if the Twisted's on the other side, they can't see me. Yeah, look at that. That's insane, right? So it's pretty weird how that works, but that is in fact how it works. I don't think I need that pop. I've got stamina plenty. Oh, sorry, I did not see her. I know where she's at now, though, so we're just gonna lose her. We know where Final is as well. Can I get spotted by Tisha to make her leave faster? All right, now she leaves. Don't mind me. I promise I'm not usually that bad. I just wanted to try something stupid. Don't do what I just did. Do not try stupid stuff. Just leave the room until that Twisted eventually leaves. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Shelly. Oh my goodness. I promise I'm not new. I promise I'm not new. Matter of fact, there's proof. There's proof I used a Gordy sticker. I need healing. Oh, let's look at Dandy as he comes up because it'll change to floor 8, which means we're gonna have a Dandy shop. All right, Dandy, open your shop. I need healing. I could kiss you on your hot mouth right now, Dandy. Thank you. Okay. So, that health kit heals 2 hearts. It heals all hearts for Sylvester players out there. And only heals 1 heart for her. Um, but and for other mains. And bandages only heal 1 heart, so it's basically equal to a other thing. Okay, Razzle and Dazzle, perfect. Okay, so there's Razzle and Dazzle, right? I can walk in the circle and he won't wake up. I could even walk into him, but is Shrimpo gonna? Okay, Shrimpo's not gonna come this way, so I can prove a point, right? So if I walk inside the circle, I'm completely safe, right? I could even walk inside him. Let me do that real quick. There you go, proof. However, if somebody sprints, thank you for the boost. I appreciate it. If somebody sprints in here, they will smack you in the face. He'll start smacking you in the face from any range. I'm not going to do that, but I am going to wake him up. I'm going to show you a cool little trick to get your 5% research without getting hit in the face, right? So if you go to the edge, start sprinting, and leave, I got my tapes. That means I got my research as well. He is now awake, but more importantly, I have not lost a heart. And Shelly did the same thing. I'll support you too, Shelly. I'll support you too, bestie. All right, I see the machines are in here. There is apparently also a shrimpo in here. I'm just gonna lose him real quick. There we go. There's a machine right here. We'll do this one. And she'll hopefully boost us. Okay, smiley face. I should have said thank you. Be respectful, please. There should be a thank you sticker for your basics. You don't need to have like a cute little tune picture on it. So, like I do. But I just own every sticker, so that's what I use. If I should, I'll probably give a nice, cute little loadout for you to use without using any of the stickers with pictures. I feel like glass is in here, isn't it? I'm gonna call out that there's a bandage right here. There we go. She got it. Sweet. I'll protect you. Okay. Where is this last bro? Where's last machine? She'll need that bandage. She can use that bandage to heal that heart immediately. Oh, treadmill. Okay, so perfect. You need to spam this skill check, right? So if I press it once, it gives me 1 out of 6. You need to press that as many times as you can. It's an automatic great skill check. You can't fail it. Additionally, however, you can. Oh my god, I'm sorry, I'm terrible with that. I can press it faster. I promise. Watch me. Watch me. Watch me work. However, you can also sprint. It consumes your stamina, but you will regen it eventually. More importantly, machine completes faster if you sprint. So, do try to do that as much as you can. All right. We were equal speed, but I have more stamina, so I'm better off doing it. Did I wake Harvey up? No, she did. I was gonna say, I don't think I was in the circle. Hey, so everyone's an elevator. Okay. We're gonna vote frugal because none of us need healing. If I could see her parts. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, you see that she has 2, and her max is 2, so we can't heal that. I obviously have 3, so we're gonna vote frugal because we don't need the healing. Um, Something simple to know about votes. Frugal is completely useless though, so usually you don't need to vote for that. The most useful card is like the stamina cards, because it gives you like 10 extra stamina that allows you to sprint for a whole like 2 extra. Running into fucking nothing. By the way, proof that everything counts as line of sight blockers. Just to prove a point. Literally everything. It's concerning. Um, Junior incoming. Oh, they got smacked. Do I BM them? Do I BM them? BMing means not being nice. Being mean, I'm pretty sure is what BM means. Being mean. Nice work, thank you. It means like it's sarcastically being mean, like being nice, right? It's being snarky. I'm being snarky with them. There's no machines. There's a machine in here. There can be a machine that spawns right there. That's usually very hidden, so make sure you come inside this room fully. If you don't know where last is, you can check that little spot right there. It usually has a machine there. Okay, that holds. Got it. So if I learned something new today. Oh, wrong page. I was on the wrong page. Guys, I was on page 4. I meant page 1. I wanted to say thank you. And there's failing skill check. So Twisteds will come near you and you'll be paused from doing the machine for a bit. It won't like reduce progress unless there's an Astral on the floor and you decide to sprint to it. Oh, last machine. Okay. We'll get to elevator. Shelly does have a passive where she gets a speed boost after every machine. Very similar to another tune called Finn. He also gets that. Just something nice to know. No, you don't have to remember that. Usually people don't remember these kinds of guides unless they're about a specific tune, right? So this is like your whole starter package, though, right? Where you get to know everything as you hop in. That's what I'm trying to do, right? I'm trying to give you that start. Okay, they died. I am now solo. Soloing is perhaps the most boring thing in the game to do when you've completed everything, so I don't know if I just want to die. I will progress this for at least once more. We'll see what we get from Dandy Shop, and I'll buy everything just because I can. Why not, right? Unless there was something I couldn't purchase, then I wouldn't purchase everything. I'd purchase most of everything. But thankfully, these items were pretty cheap. This one being 59, 36, and 18. Plus, we got frugal, so that reduced all the cost of all that by 10%. So the cost that you just saw is not accurate. All right. If I have any tips for people, small like tips that are more advanced, I would say if you're doing a machine. Oh, here's a blackout. Okay, now we got to see a blackout. My light is following me because I have bad connection. Don't worry about that. I can see Cosmo's freaking shirt, but there we go. And that's Brusha right there. She didn't see me from a mile away, but she usually can. Let's test her distance, right? Okay, she saw me. She was walking this way, I guess. Sick. All right, let's try to do this machine. I've just used a jumper cable that instantly increased the progress I have on this machine. Instructions to increase my extraction speed by a pretty significant amount. It just went away. Also, I only have my 6% now. I don't have like 12% from the Shelly also existing, nor the 48% from everyone existing. So that went away a long, long time ago. All right. But yeah, so I think I've shown just about everything that you can do in this game. I'll do one more treadmill just because you haven't been able to see much of that, but that's Dandy's World. Welcome to Dandy's World. I haven't been able to encounter any main tunes, unfortunately, but you'll encounter them as you play, and I want you to be able to figure out the game on your own in a way, right? My goal was just to introduce you, and that's it. I have no other means here. So please have some fun games. Be nice to people. Don't be stupid like most people. Don't be like me, who's rude to people. And let's all have fun with Dandy's World. If there's anything I forgot to mention, that's fine. I'm now going to die. Just because I'm silly. Die. Okay, GG's. Also, at the end, it'll show you how much Iker you got. So as you can see, I got 162 this round. Also tells you how much you got for doing stuff, right? I survived 9 floors. That was 54 Iker. I picked up 19 research capsules, so I got 38 for that. And I completed 14 machines, so I got 70 for that. If you're wondering how all that math works, keep wondering. Because you'll figure it out, I promise you. But that's how you play the game. Also, when you die, you can spectate people. Obviously, I was the last person to die, so I'm spectating no one. I am spectating my death bot. Woohoo. Welcome to the world. That's just about it for Dandy's World. So, you'll learn the tunes, you'll learn the roles, you'll learn just about everything as you continue playing, right? That is something that comes with time. And time is a valuable teacher, more than I could ever be. So, if you're wondering who all these tunes are, all these people, just figure that out. I'm sure there's a guide out there somewhere that tells you who everyone is, what they do, and then how strong they are. There's probably a couple tier lists for that. Or trinkets, same thing. There's probably a trinket tier list. I'll tell you what every trinket does. Don't trust these trinket tier lists. I've watched one very recently, and yeah, they're bad. And besides, you can like watch a tier list video, not for the tier list, but to know like that glazed fondant bag gives you 4 seconds to the duration of every candy item you use. Like, there are some trinkets you just won't know, right? And that's fine. That's perfectly fine because you don't know everything. At the end of the day, you're not Peepo. I'm Peepo, by the way. You're not Peepo at the end of the day. You will take plenty of time to learn everything, and that's okay. You won't be great, and that's fine. So continue to be bad at the game. If anyone yells at you for it, well, hell, you're not perfect, and that's okay. Um, so yeah, if you have any questions, comments, whatever, death threats, put in that put in that comment section. It's down there, I think. And yeah, that's about it. Just about everything. I'll probably release a tunes guide and a trinkets guide later. Um, but those will take some time. So I'll perhaps do that some other day. Until then, that's the end of this guide. Uh, Dandy's World is a super fun Roblox game. I recommend it. This guide was fun for me, and I hope it was fun for you too. Though I honestly really doubt it. That was a lot of now thinking about it, I'm gonna be hella bored while editing this, but that's okay. I'll see you later. Peace out, Trouts.